very exciting. Very, very, very exciting because, oh, thank you, that is some much needed coffee. And there's somebody at the door. You see, we've had some young girls working for us and they don't get the grot bag reference. It's very distressing because every time the door knocks, we go, there's somebody at the door. There's somebody at the door. And the young ones just look at us a bit blank. And Gemma and I just carry on. So good morning to you. Our studio is back up and running. A massive thank you to Josh, not just for my coffee, but for the fact that he has worked tirelessly to rebuild it. We have no understanding how or why. He started trying to explain. We all just went, give SJ a call, because, you know, she's about the only one that will appreciate the technical side of it. We just appreciate the fact that it works. So we are back to our usual format. Today's fabrics are, they are sunshine in a bundle. They are absolutely beautiful. I know when everybody here loves a fabric because I want to share something with you. I went on the school run and I came back to a little note from our Jane, and it said, I made you an infinity scarf. It's this one. So you can show how beautiful the drape is. There you go. I also remember Vicky's top tip about putting the scarves in the freezer to help keep them cool in hot weather. This is our friend Vicky. She struggles in the heat. So what she does is she runs this under the tap, really, really, really wrings it out, and then puts them in the freezer for a bit, and then puts them around her neck. And it just, but for us, top keeps riding up, it's very annoying. It just, look at the drape of it. It's absolutely beautiful. I have got a little bit of rayon today. I've got a little bit of cotton lawn. What I would say is, do not worry about mixing and matching your cotton lawns and your rayon and all these sorts of things. It really doesn't matter. If we go back to how quilting first came about, you would use whatever you had in your scraps. You would use whatever fabrics you could get your hands on. So you wouldn't be worried about what type of fabric it was, just the fact that you had some fabric. You'd sew your squares together. So today we're going to look at using something like Quilters Grid. Now Quilters Grid is a fabulous invention. It's got a grid on it on one side, and then it's got an adhesive on it the other side. So you can use it to stabilize your fabrics. You can use it as a basis for sewing the straightest lines and the best squares that you will ever sew. Now we have made in the past, this was my very original, I think I called it the Lazy Quilters bag, because it uses Quilters Grid. Now you can then use H640 after that if you want more oomph, or even Styleville I've used with this, but your starting block is this. In today's make, we aren't going to need to use any other interfacing, but this was it. And what it gives you, because I know if you're a quilter, then the Holy Grail is the perfect points, and this is what Quilters Grid gives you, is absolute perfect points. Now this was with a K fabric. We've got instructions. The Lazy Quilters bag, this is it. So easy, so easy, and really lovely, and every single point on there will be perfect. So I'll show you how to do squares of any size. We've done entire quilts out of this. Do you remember that incredibly large, beautiful Tilda quilt that we did in tiny inch squares? We've done that before. But if you're new to us and maybe you've never worked with it before, this is it. So you've got a grid on the back where they're inch squares, and then you work your way up from there. So you don't have to only work with inch squares, but you can just at some point, so for instance I've got 2.5 inch strips here, so one of them is going to come halfway down, but the next one will then sit on the 3 inch line. So you can use it as that guideline. I'm also going to use it as a stitch guideline as well. I'm just going to chop off the end here, and we will show you in a minute how to use it for squares, because this show sort of came about when Jane was the other day using some little offcut squares. And I just thought, do you know what, yes, let's show you how to use those offcuts. She done something that was a bit like, it was last week's cushion? And she had little half triangle squares. Now you can put those onto here. You've got those little squares, you can put those onto here, no bother at all. But let's just make up a few little squares here. And then I will show you these fabrics. Let's not do that on the foldy end, just in case I want to use some of that. Oh, I've managed to cut that very badly. Well done me. It was all foldy at the end. So like I say, these fabrics are very delicious, I have to say. They feel incredible. The drape is stunning. Jane's first remarks were, oh, quilt backings! Imagine backing your quilt in those. And she is quite right. She is so, so right. I'm just layering up a few of these, and we will cut a few little squares. But don't think that you just have to use squares. I'm also going to show you today how to do strips because I've got some bundles at an incredible price actually with some squares in. I'm going to go in with my creative grid and just create those little squares. So you can make your own charm packs and stuff. Today's make is absolutely perfect for those of you that have got your fat quarter scrap bags. You are going to be having an absolute ball. Absolute ball. Before we get going, let me show you all of the fabric bundles that we have for you today. So, if you love the rayon, if you're a dressmaker, this is absolutely stunning. And you can see these on the back wall. Jane has done me such a beautiful set today. They're here, and you can see just how exquisitely they drape. They're the wider width as well, so they're a dressmaking width. But these three around, you can back your quilts in these, you can dressmake with these, but also you can quilt with them. Do not be afraid to mix and match them in. They're just stunning. And then we've got these ones, the rest of these, they are all cotton lawn. So again, a wider width, so you're getting more for your money. We like that. There is a company over in Leicestershire who make their shirts and things out of cotton lawn. Because I always thought, when I first started, I always thought cotton lawn was much finer. You know, when you see the Liberty lawn, I was like, that's so much finer, that's not going to wear as well. And no, it's the opposite. So with lawn, it's much thinner, finer fibres, but which means that it's much more tightly knit. So actually, this place in Leicestershire, they give you a lifetime guarantee on their shirts because the cotton lawn is so much stronger than normal cotton. I hadn't realised. And that's always stayed with me. I'm like, oh, it's the opposite to what I think. Oh, blimey, it's absolutely boiling. So today we're making this. And so like I say, you can use it. And this is, got a pocket this side. And I always have to make my pockets a little bit bigger because obviously I have a Mahusive phone, or as Josh likes to call it, the brick. So you've got pockets both sides. But if that was not enough, you've then got a central pocket there as well. So a trio of pockets, you can do it as a wristlet, just to keep your bits and bobs in. I'm going to have to take the lid off that coffee. Oh, so I'm going to burn my mouth again. Hang on, let me just put it somewhere to cool. There we go. And I just adore this fabric. So this is what we're going to make today. Let me hang this up here so that you can see what today's make is, what it's going to be. Whoops. It can sit on the octopus there. Like so. There's my spare glasses, emergency glasses. It can sit there with my emergency glasses. So that's what we are going to make today. And it's going to be lovely. Absolutely lovely. So let me show you this bundle because these three just go so well together. This is a fat quarter bundle, but it's a big fat quarter bundle because obviously these are wider. Absolutely stunning. Now, you could make my half-hour, half-metre bag out of these, and it would be like a fold-away shopper bag. I might make one later and show you. How gorgeous would that be? So you've got 3 fat quarters and a half-metre, because I think that royal goes so beautifully with it. I couldn't resist. I just couldn't resist. So you could make your incredibly simple infinity scarves with these. Or you could make it out of those 3. It'd be gorgeous. Jane made me one before we came to wear. In minutes. Because it's just so easy. So here they are. They are on at a very nice price. Very good price for you today. Which we like. And we think that they are very beautiful. Drop me a little comment if you agree that they are sunshine and gorgeousness. Now, this is also lovely. This is a rayon as well. But look at this. Now, the thing is, rayon has this incredible drape, and it's so soft, and it feels like cotton lawn. So mix and match it in there beautifully. But as soon as you interface, you kind of, in the interfacing, you can work with them all the same. So I'm going to interface them onto the Quilters grid today. So then it doesn't matter that it's a little bit finer. It just doesn't matter. But you're still going to have that feel. And it's absolutely beautiful. So do a bit of dressmaking, have whatever you've got left over, pop it in your stash. And we've done that as a half-metre heaven type. I think it's $10.99 for the 2 of those, which I just love. Gemma, I think she's probably messaging me saying, I'm still loading. Oh, Gemma says I have to look at the Facebook comments with regard to giraffes. What have you been saying about giraffes? Still getting over my burnt mouth. Hang on. What are we saying? Here we go. Jennifer's here. Carol's here. Good morning. Karen's here. Jan's here. Hello. May have to abandon due to man and drill and angle grinder. Oh God, that sounds horrendous. Sue's here. Hello everyone. Housework avoidance has now started. Thank you, Tash, for saving me from cleaning the bathrooms. It's like a public service, isn't it? This show. You use it forever you need, whether it's just to make your working day a little bit brighter or whether it's to avoid cleaning your bathrooms. Oh, have I got a good giraffe placement on my rear? I don't know, I'll have a look at the back. Love my giraffes. So well placed for bum slimming. I could do with a bit of that. You can giggle at my butt, that's fine. Great. Who needs expensive gym wear, eh? Jennifer's here, Gabriel's here, Patricia's here, Amanda's here. And Gemma, I know what you are thinking. So when Gemma first started sewing with me, I was well into making pyjama bottoms. I made pyjama bottoms for everything because I was about to have Emily. And I was so huge with her. I put on 6.5 stone with both my babies. Like, I got big. And so elasticated pyjama bottoms, wide leg pyjama bottoms were the way for me. And Gem's like, oh, I want to make pyjama bottoms as well. So she came over and she bought an old duvet and it had lots of different animals on it. I can't remember if it was a fox or a bear that was disappearing into or out of the back seam. That's all I'm going to say. It was just very unfortunate. And we learnt our lesson then. But of course, these trousers, I don't look at the back. So I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know. Let me show you this fabric because I'm so excited. I have had this in the past with a different colourway and I just have loved it. And today I've got it with blush if you want it. You can buy it by the half-metre or however you like. But if you want it with a plain, then this goes so beautifully with blush. This has got phoenixes on it. and it is probably one of the most beautiful fabrics I think I've ever seen. I didn't know it came in a darker colourway. Excuse the fact that it needs a good press. It's just come off the bolt like that. How beautiful is that? You've got these incredible big peonies, and then I would say quite discreet phoenixes is on there. Oh, just beautiful. Just beautiful. So yeah, we've got that as an option for you as well. Gemma was going to do you a bundle whereby you could get all of the other ones together. I don't know if she's done that. Now, today, because we are doing... Oh, look, I've also got a little half metre. Look at this. Your Jane Sassaman flower dance. Because we had a couple of those left. And just imagine how gorgeous that would look in the two tones. So you'd have those, and then you'd have that as your little snippety bit there. Which is a little mini pocket, by the way. Nice, right? Very, very nice. There was a fox, that was it. Fox on Gemma's foof, and a brown bear emerging from her behind. So yes. Yes, yes. Now, today we're going to do stripes of fabrics. I'm going to show you how to do squares, but we've done squares in a bag before, so we'll do stripes in a pouch. It'll all make sense imminently. So let me just draw your attention to this bundle, because these would be beautiful. This is a 6 fat quarter bundle in Jane Sassaman, which I have made, but we've made a bag, and I sold it in a sample sale so fast because, oh, look at that, because it came in and went out so very, very quickly. But if you want more sunshine in a fabric, then your Sassaman collection there. This is the last of it, and if it doesn't go, then that will be very, very sad for all of us. Now, these are 1/2 metre by 2.5 inch strips. Okay, so if you are just starting out, and oh, hang on, this bundle, Gemma's just gone, well, that should be $28.49 for these fat quarters here. She's just put it up at $14.99 as a mega deal. You what now? Oh, that's going to be until stocks last, isn't it? Talking of other mega deals, $14.99 for a 1/2 metre of fabric here, and 40 2.5 inch pre-cut fabrics. So grab yourself some Quilters grid, because these here, what a lovely way to introduce yourself to pre-cut strips of fabric. Look at that with that, wow. So you've got all your cool blues in there, you've got florals. It's a lovely bundle. If you're someone that's like, oh, I don't know how to mix and match fabrics, just grab yourself something like this. I've only got, I think, 4 of them. They're $14.99 for a 1/2 metre of fabric, and then a pre-cut strip pack there. The other thing that would work so beautifully, so if you wanted to do the Lazy Quilters bag, then grab yourself the Sweet Something Charm Pack that we made. This is exclusive to us, nobody else has done it. You can grab one of those and a 1/2 metre of lavender. We've only got 4 of these left as well. Gemma's just gone, 2 can play the silly beggars pricing game. Honestly, Gemma, we sent out yesterday boxes and boxes and boxes of my, as Gemma likes to call it, Natasha's ridiculous, I think she was just going to stop there, Natasha's ridiculous fat quarter frenzy, where you got your 10 fat quarters. Now, I did a thing with a lot of them, not quite all of them, because once I got underway, I got into a rhythm and it became more of a thing. Because they are all random, they are all different. But what I did sort of do, just because it was easier for me in terms of counting, that sounds ridiculous, I only had to count to 10, was I sort of paired them with a pattern and a plain. Not entirely, not every single one, but you'll see. So hopefully you'll have ones that kind of go together a little bit. And in some of them, There happen to be some from the sort of same collection, so you might have a couple from a similar collection, so you've got something you could work together there and do a little mini quilt with that. This is what I'm thinking as I spent my whole weekend cutting. It started Friday night, I started cutting, and I didn't stop until Monday morning. It was insane. Josh kept going out and coming in, so you're still, I'm like, I'm still here. So well done for those of you that got that. We've taken it down for now, not just because it was a ridiculous price, but because I just need to see if I have any left. If I have any left, the likelihood is that they will have some Kaufman in, which I promised Gemma I wouldn't put in. So keep your eyes peeled for that, but that won't be until later on in the week. It's a full-on week this week. One way or another, it's absolutely full-on. So yeah, just in processing those orders, getting them out the door. In fact, we ran out of post bags yesterday, and we had to leave 3 massive boxes of post on the doorstep and asked lovely postman Paul for more bags. And so I found him bagging up our post for us. God love him. So thank you, Postman Paul, for coming to our rescue. See, move over, Postman Pat, who only manages 1 delivery day and stuffs that up every day. Postman Paul is the way forward. So, a big shout out to him. Because we've not always been lucky with our postman, you know. But Postman Paul. And Mickey the Post, actually. So, Mickey the Post delivers and Postman Paul takes away. And they're both absolutely lovely. Mickey the Post used to play for Coventry City Football Club, but we'll forgive him. And he's ever so lovely, and yeah, lovely Postman Paul. He's well into his basketball, so you know we've got lovely postmen here. Anyway, we digress. You've got your you've got your charm packs, because that would be lovely. Once you understand how to use Quilters Grid, you won't go back. You will love it. So that's an option for you. We've got the pre-cut strips there as an option. You can cut your own. If you've got a creative grid, then you are set to make your own charm packs. No problem at all. You've got just a gorgeous bundle here because, let's face it, today's make is all about stunning contrast. So that would be absolutely beautiful to make today's make out of as well. As would this. So if you don't fancy having a go with the Quilters Grid, you've still got lots and lots and lots of options here as to how to play with your fabric if you wish. You might just want to mix it up with some of these, and that also works a treat. So, shall we have a little look then? Gemma, can you just confirm, have you done me a bundle of all of these new fabrics here? Because if you have, then I will show them all together. I heart these very, 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 very much. They just feel incredible. Absolutely incredible. And I'm going to show you these. I just love the colours. Not yet, will do. They will be. Gemma says, it amused me greatly that typing Natasha's utterly ridiculous worked as a search. Utterly ridiculous. That's all it was. That's all she put in there. Natasha's utterly ridiculous. It was quite a heated debate, I'm not going to lie. Gemma and I don't fall out, but we will have heated debates. And if anybody ever overhears our conversations, I mean, they must wonder what. I don't know if people think that this is just what we're like only on air, because it's really not. This is just us, generally. Nice bit of banter. Yesterday we just had to laugh so much. One of our beautiful, beautiful viewers messaged in, because we were Facebook only, and she emailed us a couple of times during the show. We were howling with laughing afterwards. We love her so much. She regularly messages us. She's like, well, I don't have Facebook, so in order to watch you, I've had to log into my dead husband's account. Like, we really don't think he's going to mind. Like, you're okay. Our humour is quite dark sometimes, but my goodness, that did tickle us. We were giggling about that for quite some time. Mad as a box of frogs, all of you. We love you all. How beautiful is this? It's said with love. We're all mad. We're all mad. What is it? They say we're all mad here. That's the Mad Hatter, isn't it? Look at this one. I don't know the names of these. I can't remember them all. They're Dashwood. Helps if I actually show you there, doesn't it? How rich are these? Honestly, I just love them. So you've got these kind of hot colours. You've got a paisley there as well. But they do mix through, oh, there's somebody at the door, with the blues as well. So you've got some beautiful blue paisleys, and then you've got this stunning one here. And of course, oranges and blues and yellows, they're going to work really gorgeously together anyway. So these mix and match up a treat. And that's what I'm using for my project today. And then this one, I love this one with those oranges that I showed you at the beginning. This is a standout one for me. It's just a delight, an absolute delight. One of my very favourite things to do is buy the fabric, and sometimes I do think everyone thinks I'm just playing on my phone. I'm not. I don't play computer games on my phone at all, but I will be sitting there for hours going through which fabrics I love, which ones do I want, which ones do I think you'd like, which ones do I think you'd like that I love, because of course there's my rule that I will only buy the ones that I love in case they don't sell, and then I'm happy to keep them. Which I'm told is not a business model, however. It's basically sharing my stash, isn't it? There we go. So we are all good. But everything mixes and matches beautifully today. Oh, can I just say, I've got one of these panels left. Whilst we're talking about the old Sweet Something. This is from the Sweet Something range. So you might want to, look at that. You might want, which way around is it, that way? You might want to buy this and then use the charm pack to do squares around the outside. Isn't this gorgeous? But yeah, we've got one of those left, and then we've got the smaller ones, and a few of them cut to order there. So if you're wondering what's in that charm pack, these, and I've got one more of these, which needs to be placemats or something for me. I love it. I just love it. Such a beautiful, beautiful fabric. And of course all those colours taken through into that collection down there. Just beautiful. Right. That's what we've got. Gemma is loading them as we speak. Let's have a look at this group. I'm just going to do like a little sample, mini sample one for you. So you will pop your little squares on here. And if, like, I use up all my scraps, and this was an end bit that I had left over, you can always sew these together to give you larger pieces. That's up to you as well. Entirely up to you. Let's get some of these. And don't be afraid of using the salvagey bits, because that will become part of the seam allowance. So if they're not perfectly cut, please do not fret. No one is going to mind. No one is going to mind. So let's just get a few of these little ones on the go here. And you'll soon get an idea as to how this works. So this could be your off-cut squares from projects. And I'm going to show you not to worry about having a little bit of steamer, a little bit of selvage in there. It is all good. And this is exactly how you would make the lazy quilter's back, but just with 5-inch squares. And you can size it up, size it down, doesn't matter, really doesn't matter at all. Let's just trim that back. But for those of you that have seen this demoed before, I won't make this a super long one. So just trim it back to size. And then all you're going to do, and this is so incredibly easy, is move all your rulers out of the way so that you can actually get to your sewing machine. You're going to fold it and sew and then fold it and work your way along, just folding and sewing your 1/4 inch. And this is what gives you the perfect points, even if you have been a bit wonky, been a bit of a wonky donkey, that's absolutely fine. What I need though, I brought in some scissors. I don't know what I've done with them. Oh, they're under here. I'm saying I don't know what I've done with them when I've got my hand on them. Now these were a Friday deal where you got a free pair of scissors. I think it was done as a free pair of scissors, but you got scissors with the any size scissor case pattern, because we've all got scissors of different shape, size, and you would get one of these colours, so it's sort of a lucky dip of colours. But I was just thinking about it now, because obviously I'm going for the rainbow ones. What you do need, you're going to go in and snip. So what really helps is having a long thin nose on your scissors, and it just occurred to me that these are perfect for the job. So this just helps, because this is the only bit, you don't always have to do this if you don't want to, but it does give a really good finish. So grab yourself some of those scissors. They, like I say, they're a Friday deal. We've got a couple left, and if you want to then press that seam then open, then you can. And all that does is just reduce bulk, but you've effectively interfaced your fabrics, and because we're using a fine cotton lawn, it's giving it that little bit of stability. And then we'll fold there and sew down. And what you'll see, and it's really rather magical, yeah, these scissors are perfect for this job. Honestly, the most inexpensive pair of scissors, because they came with a pattern. We like that. And yet good and perfect for this task. There we go. Now, if I spin this around and put this up to the camera, can you see what Quilters Grid does for you is give you absolutely perfect points every single time. Every single time, without fail. And that's why. You can do an entire quilt, by the way. You can do an entire quilt like this, a huge patchwork quilt like this. Absolutely perfect. It's just lovely. So let me show you how we're going to do, because normally we've always done this with squares. I thought, well, yeah, we could, but you've seen squares before. But what if, do we always have to do it like that? Well, no, we don't. We don't. So we can do it in strips. So I haven't sewn these strips together. I don't know if any of you ever find that when you sew long strips together, they banana, and it's a bit annoying. So we are going to combat the banana today. What a weird sentence to say. Now, if you need to just give that a little press of it bouncing around before you take it to your machine, then do. And we're going to sew a 1/4 inch. Okay, then fold the next one. And sew. Just make sure that the first one that you sewed is out of the way. But this just means it's not going to banana. It's all beautifully stabilised before you go any further. It's all done. Do have a few lines of these, so just talk amongst yourselves for a little bit while I just get this underway. But it is, I meant to get this done beforehand, and then, oh no, what happened? Time is a funny old concept here, but let me show you what's happening. Now, the dream obviously would be to press those, to cut those and press those open. If you do not have the time, the patience or anything else, just fold them over to one side. But we do have some rather lovely, and you can add a little bit of steam because it's interfaced, so that's fine. Oh, helps if it actually changes. There we go. So yeah, if you don't want to press them open, you can get away with just pressing them down to one side, but do press them open if you want to. Certainly for sort of smaller projects, yeah. But just all I've done, I'll show you as I do the next one, is just press it to one side, like you would a seam, really. And now let's just sew down there. So very versatile, very easy, super effective. I'm not going to have to then interface my fabric again for this project. But it's a lovely method for using up your tiny scraps. You have got inch squares on this grid, so you know, make the most of that. And then no scrap gets wasted. No scrap is too small. That's the beautiful thing. No scrap is then too small. We are not scrappist, sizist in any way, shape or form. if you look up my, oh gosh, what was it called? Snowball cushion. My snowball cushion pattern is a bit of a bonus. It's a very, very early pattern. Maybe I need to do it another day for you. But it uses, it does it use Quilters grid? I don't know, but it should. I did a snowball cushion with some beautiful K fabrics, and then with the leftovers I'll show you how to make a little pouch. So that was like a 2-for-1 pattern. It's a good one. It's a very, very early one. We're going back 5 or so years for that one. It probably needs a little rejig in the way that Jenny does things. Oh, I'm out of bobbin fill. Come on, really? A whole line with no bobbin fill. Bear with me, caller. Would it be a show if I didn't need to fill my bobbin? Just goes to show, doesn't it, today, that we do need, if we ever needed an excuse, and we don't, we do not, having all the different shape, size scissors in all the world is a must. Do you remember when we first started out and you could fit all of your craft stuff in one shoe box that fit under the bed? Do you remember those days? Yeah, me either. I love a variegated thread. That's what I'm saying today. It's just great. Oh, did any of you get the spool stand? There's like a spool rack which sits just behind your sewing machine, and you put all your different threads on there, and then anytime you need one you just pull it from there. It's very, very clever. Very, very clever, and they are on a superb discount in your Friday deals. I hope you are looking at these Friday deals and making the most of them, by the way, because we put, although you don't have a show on Friday, we do put some spectacular deals together. Oh, I've got some very nice new hardware to show you in a minute as well. If you'll just bear with me, caller. So with today's make, you can either create, we're basically making our own fabric here. That's effectively what we're doing. Let's not, you know, that's what we're doing. We're making our own fabric. You can make it just out of one fabric, as I did in my sample up there. Or, like I say, you can create your own. You could do this with a patchwork. I'm going to do it with a stripe today. Hark at the machine go. Go, go. Yay. So, which way have I been pressing all these seams? That away. Let's try and be slightly consistent. What's going on with my hair today? It's all over the place. Right, so using the edge of my iron up against the stitching just to make sure I've got a nice clean. Now you wouldn't normally do that with non-interfaced fabric, but of course it's interfaced, we are all good. down. In fact, you know, I'm going to cut this to size. No, I need to press it before I cut it to size, don't I? Else how are we going to know? How would we know? If you need to, when you're putting these strips down onto the quilter's grid, if you need to reposition at any point, a little bit of steam and quickly hoik it up off the glue. The steam will basically melt the glue, which means that you can then hoik your fabric off and reposition should you need. No idea what this is going to look like striped. I just wanted to try. Okay, so what we've got is basically our own stripy fabric. That's what we've got. Perfect. And now let's trim it back with our creative grid. All your measurements, as ever, will be in your instructions. If you are going just with normal fabric, then you can get this out of 2 fat quarters. So a fat quarter for your lining, a fat quarter for your outer, and you are good to go. Go. Got a lot left over there, which is good. I'm going to take just a little bit off each end. So I now have a square from the front and my lining. Okay. And we're going to place these right sides together, like so. Okay, and then, let me move this over. This isn't a long make, by the way. It's just that I made my own fabric first, which I can do because it's not a long make. Okay. I just fold it diagonally, line everything up. Get a curve. There we are. And curve off. So we're diagonally placed, we're going to curve off around that top. If you do not have a Creative Grids curved corner cutter, it just makes your life so much easier. Honestly, it does. So we are curving off those corners diagonally. That's it. Just diagonally. And then a couple of pins in, because we're going to sew all the way around the outside now. Okay. leave yourself a little turning through gap. Leave myself a reminder to have a turning through gap there. That actually could do with just coming over a little bit. There we go. How often do we glance underneath actually to make sure that everything is sort of happily aligned? Not always, do we? I do have a little bit. I don't know if it's just where that where it possibly wasn't sat under. I'm going to leave it because having a little bit extra there isn't a problem because my turning through gap's going to be there, so that isn't a problem. But I will now sew from the top so that I know where it is. If that makes sense. Does that make sense? Spin it around. Just help if you put the pins in the way. I was going to sew it from the other side, which is why my pins are all now in upside down. It's alright. Have hands, can turn things around. We're all good. I'm going to keep that as my turning through gap. So now we're going to get our pinking shears out. If you did manage to make use of our Friday deal pinking shear deal, well done you, because Fiskars pinking shears are insanely expensive, we know this, but when you see them on a deal you've got to get them because there is none other for quality quite like Fiskars blade. I really do say that. I've used a lot of pinking shears over the years, and actually the ones I always come back to are Fiskars. It's that they just know what they're doing with the blade. They've been making blades for 400 odd years. Started with swords and progressed. So just check you've caught everything, both sides, we're happy with everything. If you want to just take off any excess at those corners, the square corners, then do. And then turn it through. We're going to give it a good old press now. I absolutely swear by having a knitting needle, a chunky knitting needle to get into those corners. And also if you're someone like me that really struggles to get into the curves, like Jane's got really hot hands, and so when she rolls a seam it just does it as it's told. But for me, I often have to get a little pokey tool in there and roll that seam right onto that edge and give it a good press. Lovely. I haven't done this as a stripe, and of course because we're going to be doing this on the diagonal, so that's going to give it a whole different feel. I'm actually quite excited to see what this is going to look like. And of course you could be doing it in all those beautiful blues if you're someone that got hold of the blue stripe kit. That's a deal and a half, isn't it? Or you might be doing it out of your squares. Who knows? but it is just worth taking a little bit of time. We're going to top stitch around this, so just take your time to get it nice. Because it does make a difference. Like if I'd have pressed that crease in, that would have changed the whole shape of it. There you go. Right, let's top stitch around the top, shall we? I don't know where else you'd be top stitching other than around the top, but let's just give that a go. And in doing so, we're closing up that turning through gap. And this is where, if you have taken the time to do goal practice and cut those seams and do them flat, iron them flat, then you just won't have these bumps that I'm busily sewing over at the moment. But the main thing is that we are sewn. Okay, so we're now going to come diagonally again. Okay. I'm going to give that a press. And then a press again there, so that we find our middle mark. Okay, so we've got our centre mark there, and then we're going to mark out from either side, and you can do that with a pencil. So we're going to go out 2.5 inches from that middle up to there and mark. Okay, same the other side. Okay, marking at the top there. Now, if you want to have, I'm going to do a slightly different version here, but if you want to have a cord wristlet or a ribbon wristlet, then take your length of cord or ribbon and just pop it under here. Okay, you're going to pop it under there like that. And we're going to stitch down both sides now. Okay? But that, and then that's all you need to do. I'm going to show you a slightly different version just to show that this is a very versatile pattern. And thank you, by the way, for, I put up a post, and I thought we don't really have that many reviews. And so we just asked, what do you like about our patterns? Because they are our best-selling items out of everything that we sell. And your feedback was incredible, very humbling and very kind. Thank you so much. So that's nice. So we've stitched down both sides, and now we're going to do a little bit of folding. So doesn't really matter which side you start on, but just open it up and fold it back. Again, you're going to want your poker tool at the ready here, and fold it back to that stitch line. Okay, like that. And then you'll fold in line here, back on itself again. Now take your time to get this set up right. So that corner is going to fold there. And that will fold up to there, and check it's folding the other side as well. You don't want it just folding one side, because we're going to sew through all of those layers there. Okay, so you've got the tip of that triangle there, and we're going to stitch down there. Okay. So we've sewn just from there to there in line with our talky line there, and we've sewn through this line here as well. Okay, so now we're going to do the same on the other side. Folding it up to that stitch line. Again, if you need to, get that little pokey stick in there. And you can see how this starts to become the thing, right? Oh yeah, it's rather nice, isn't it? And then again, we're going to fold back on ourselves here. You can clip it, pin it, whatever you want if you like, but you're going to sew through, just top stitch down those sides again. Just pop that onto the machine and do that very quickly. So just stitch down there and through there. So that is the bag outer. It's looking lovely in these stripes, isn't it? Oh, Gemma says, before I close the show, please can I clear up whether they need to alternate ends they sew from or sew always the same end? It doesn't matter to avoid a banana effect. It doesn't matter, that's the beauty of it. If you were sewing strips together, then you would avoid the banana by sewing opposite sides. But because it's interfaced, this is acting as an interfacing, so it's holding it together. So it doesn't matter. You don't have to go one way, then the other, and then the other. It really doesn't matter, because that is holding it in place. It's very, very clever. It's good stuff. You can now give this a good press. And what we now have is a very lovely pouch that we can fold down. Oh, that's rather cool, isn't it, with those stripes? That is better than I could have ever hoped for. I'm very happy with that. You've got a little mini pocket there. If you want to put a popper on there, then you can. But we're going to put poppers on there. And then, oh yeah, these were the things. This is the hardware that I was going to tell you about, but I didn't. And I've got these in a dark coffee, and they come with a little screwdriver and everything else, and you get them as a pair. But they're your D-ring keepers. So they would go through and screw in place. And it comes with, just in case you don't have one, it comes with the screwdriver to screw in place. Let me show you that on a close-up because these are gorgeous. You can use, we've got rivets, we've got, because I'm going to make this into a bag, not just a wristlet, I'm going to make it into a bag. But look, how smart is that? Now you can do that on the sides of your bags, up like that. But today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop a little hole and pop it onto the side of my bag like that. Now I've still got plenty of space, still lots and lots of room in there, but that's just another option. I keep bringing you these things because they're rather fabulous, and I want everyone to share in these because they're not readily available out there. If you want to, of course, then we've got the antique rivet ones. These are good as well. And now these are swivel ones, so you put the rivet in there and then they swivel. So they are really discreet. So if you want to use just a little discreet one and hardly have it seen, then that's the one. I'm going to make a statement with these ones today. We've also got, which would look lovely with these fabrics, we've got the rainbow ones. Now these come with split rings and lobster clasps as well, so that you can then add in what little handle you want. I'm going to open this and show you these because I just think these would look so beautiful with this project today. Now a lot of you I bought these with a 10 set of these and they flew. And I think they're so great because they're so discreet, so they fold in. So if at any point you just want to have it as like a little clutchy pouch, then that is absolutely fine. They would then just fold in, but then when you do want to have it as sort of a D-ring, they flip out like that. So these are really discreet, and that would actually look lovely on this. I'm kind of tempted. No, stick to the plan, stick to the plan. Oh, do you think, Jane, if you're listening, could I possibly have one of the chains with a heart at the end of it? I'm going to put one of these in. If I actually give that a good press there. So these will fold down, and then you've got, huh?
The gold hardware.
Yeah, because I'm going to use one of these, Jane. Thank you. Whee! Just to give you an idea. So that's where it's going to fold. So I want that to be that gives us plenty of space there, doesn't it? So this is going to have a very different look and feel to this one when it's finished, and I'm okay with that. I've got these in two different colourways, and they've been sort of edge coated on the edge, which is fabulous. So if you've got a favourite sort of front and back, then great. And it also gives you 2 different lengths of screw. So if you're going through a lot of padding or anything like that, if you're using it on bags and you've used like a Styleville or something, then you might want to use the longer ones. Will be okay. With the shorter ones, oh, that's quite smart, isn't it? I like that. Oh, yes. And again, if you want them discreeter, more discreet, then like I say, use one of the smaller ones, or if you just want to use a ribbon, then you can. It is going to really help if I actually remember to insert this as I go, isn't it? Well done, me. Come on, the holes are there. I've literally just poked you through all of them. Some days. What have I managed to do? Right, you go through there, and then through there, and then through there, and then through there. There we go. D ring. How many of you are shouting? Natasha, put the D ring on. I tell you, I was saying to Jem this morning, I am so sleep deprived at the moment, and it's just starting to tell. I don't know whether I'm coming or going. But she tells me it's fine because it's a new moon and that's why. So thanks, new moon. Get my crystals out and all will be well. That's not a euphemism. Actual crystals. Ooh, lovely. Now then, where are my snaps? Snap, snap, snappy, snap. Snap, snap, snappy, snap. Uh-oh. Right. Let's put a snap on this, shall we? Yes. Find whereabouts you want to put it. I might put it right in the middle there. Oh. And make yourself a little hole. You might want to hole punch that. It's up to you. But when you do, or if you do, then you might then want to get your pen and mark underneath where that has gone so that you can then use it to insert your snap the other side. Oh, these are chunky snaps as well. These in place. Come on. And in putting in your hardware, you are holding everything in place, which is absolutely perfect. That's what we want. Oh no, where's my doobie what's it? Ah, is it this one? No, what have I done with it? Oh, disaster. What did I do with it? I have to use one of these now and hope they are the right size. This could be a disaster, ladies and gentlemen, but we'll find out. Jeopardy. Well, that seems to have inserted that there. Yay, I'm normally so good at keeping all these parts together because they're all different sizes with different size snaps. But the system has clearly failed today. Naughty me. There we go. Just in the middle there. We're nearly done. Right, come on, you go through there. Do I need to make a bigger hole? No, come on. There we are. You arrow through there. You can go on there. Now you might just want to, because obviously you've got the snap sitting underneath, just move it out of the way so you're not snapping, you're not going onto all the snaps in all the world. This is suddenly looking like quite a chunky little bag, isn't it? So this version, pretty little wristlet, and you've got a centre bag in here and then pouches either side. Bling it up. I love these, look, they've got little hearts on the ends, which isn't going to be the right feel for all your makes, but for this one I think it's lovely. But it's just another way to play, and if you want to change up the look, then you can. There you go. 2 makes today, 2 very different looks. You can patchwork it, you can use stripes. It is entirely up to you. Same bag, different finishes. There you go. So whichever one is your favourite, away you go. And that, ladies and gents, is today's show. Grab your fabrics because, quite frankly, they are absolutely lush and very beautiful. Even if you're just making fat quarter infinity scarves or half metre infinity scarves, it's entirely up to you. Are those faux PU leather? Yes, I believe they are faux. Anne Graham was shouting D-ring. Thank you, Anne. Thank you. Could you shout a little bit louder, please? And Cynthia says, welcome back. Hats off to Josh. He sorted out a studio problem. Auntie Lizzie's here as well. She'll be pleased I'm sewing with a hammer. Bloodwind's here. Thanks for a great show yesterday. Jane is a star. Well done, Jane. Deserved that bag. Yes, she's got to keep the bag. And Cynthia says, I've worked with the grids to make my grandson a Minecraft quilt. Enjoyed watching Gemma and John do a Tilda bouquet using the quilt grid. Yes, it is brilliant. Really, really handy to use. That quilt was a full-blown Natasha Makes effort. Everybody had a piece of either cutting the squares, interfacing them on, sewing them. John and Gemma did the shows. It was a proper full-on Natasha Makes whole makes enterprise, that one. A jelly roll would be great in those materials. But when they would, get your creative grid and your stripology and make your own. It's really easy. It's the most cost effective way of doing it too. Carol says she loves my trousers. Thank you. I feel and Boo Book says hi from Western Australia. Well, hello to you. And we've also, yeah, Genevieve also says good morning. I'm late again. That's fine. We're about to finish. So yeah, there we go. Thank you ever so much for watching. Do check out your Friday deals. Perfect pairings. We haven't got any perfect pairings sorted yet. But if we do, we will pop them on Facebook for you. That's where you can find them. I know, it always throws me. So Genevieve always comes up as a very unpronounceable name on her YouTube, just because of my ineptitude. But I'm just going to make ineptability a word, ineptitude. So apologies for that. It took me a minute to go, no. What does she come up with on our order sheets? On our order sheets, she comes up as Genevieve. So there we go. It's a beautiful name. Really beautiful. My gran was a Gwen. So I like those sorts of names. Anyway, by the by, thank you ever so much for watching. We'll sort you out some perfect pairings. And check out your Friday deals. And we'll see you again very soon. Take care. Lots of love. Bye-bye. Oh! And if we do have any extra of the Fat Quarter Frenzy, Natasha's utterly ridiculous ... deal, check those out for the weekend. I'll make sure if I've got any extras left over, but they'll be the ones that have got a bit of Kaufman in. Alright, take care, bye bye.